Yeah, hello, brothers and sisters in Christ. Happy Valentine's Day. I came across this message and it was really very inspiring to me, and I thought I should share it with the rest of the audience. There was this, there was this pastor that was invited to have dinner with the family, and the pastor came in good faith, and then immediately he came, they rushed him to the dinner table. In that dinner table, there was a check that was already written for the pastor, but his name was not written there. And the pastor was the first to sit on that dinner table. Then later, the couples came and joined the pastors on the table, and they all have an amusing time. They shared the word of God and they have some good time. And then immediately the pastor was escorted. The owner of the home realized that there was a check that was written to be handed over to the pastor. They went back on the table, on the dinner table, and they couldn't find the check. They searched for the check all over the table, they couldn't find the check. The woman immediately says they are all the same. He concluded that the pastor is a thief. He said if they are not deceiving people, they are either manipulating one another in one way or the other. And then they give this negative image about these pastors, and then they make a decision that since the pastor is a thief, there's no reason for them to continue going to the same church with a thief. And they find a new church and they started going into that church. 2 months later, this woman met that same pastors on the road and they all shared greetings. Then the woman was bold enough to ask the pastor that what happened to the check? Why did you steal the check that was written and was supposed to be given to you? The pastor shook his head and said, Madam, I'm sorry. I came in there and we're about to have dinner. I thought this check lying on the table will be destroyed. So I put it in the Bible that was on your table, and it should be inside that Bible. And then the woman who has bear grudge against this man became feeling so ashamed and sad. And then when the woman rushed back home, he told the husband, and they went to the Bible, and then they opened the Bible and they saw the check placed inside the Bible. Rule number one: when you live your life, don't bear grudge or false witness against any human being here on earth without you doing validation checks of the fact. If your brother sin against you, make sure that you call your brother or your sister and try to find out why your brother bear grudge against you, or why you want to bear grudge against your brother, and hear his own side of the story before you start bearing grudge. Rule number three: if you bear grudge against humanity without finding fact, you may be destroying your own self. You may put yourself in a state of depression without you even understanding and knowing exactly what are the facts. Sometimes the fact may not really seem really truly the fact unless you do validation checks of them. So this woman have lived with this grudge in mind and the husband, and they have been tormenting themselves, torturing themselves with bad and negative influence of information, thinking that that man is a bad man when the man is a good man. Rule number four: make sure that no matter whatever be the situation, make sure that you and your husband don't just move from one location to another. Don't be a tree that can be pushed into any direction just by influence of any force. Sometimes you have to stand your boot. Sometimes you have to stand your ground to get an understanding of the things that pushed you, rather than you being afraid at any point in time, because along life you will always meet good and bad people all the time. This is not going to change. So if you start running away to face the reality of things, you'll be running the rest of your life. You don't want to be a runner, but you want to be a problem solver, someone that is ready to accept things and ready to change the things based on based on the wisdom and knowledge of God. So I want to pray for you all Valentine's celebrants. Today is a day of love, and I've come with this big message so that you can learn to reconcile yourself with each other. You can learn not to develop prejudice against people. You will develop skill sets to validate facts. And before you slander a brother or a sister, you don't just join into any gossip message and then you begin to gossip and parade gossiping all over the place because you want to slander a brother or a sister. People work extremely hard to build the image that they have. People work extremely hard to build the integrity that they have. The brands that you have, those are the brands that people buy. For someone to just walk in and then little things without finding the facts and decided to slander you is really bad. That's why Jesus Christ warned. He warned that we should not bear grudge against a brother or a sister if we are to come to serve him. Anyone who bear grudge against a brother or a sister and then think that is serving God is not serving God. A reconciliation mind. You need a mind of reconciliation with your brotherhood, your sisterhood, before you can ever move God in any way. And God say we move him by faith, we move him by faith, and we move him by truth. Those are the two things that move God. We move him by faith, we move him by truth. That means before you bear grudge, make sure that you get the truth and understand the truth before you destroy a brother or a sister. Otherwise, prayers and all kind of things while slandering people will never yield better fruits in your life. This is the word of God, and this is the word of love that you take during these Valentine days to improve your own status. God bless you.